Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Seems kind of bright in here. Let's see. No? What is it? Seems kind of bright. We'll take this out in editing. How's that? Better? Okay. Well, good morning. Here we are. Today is Monday, February 23rd. We're in the last week of February. March is upon us. February 23rd, 2026. It's about 6 a.m. in the morning, just about 6 in the morning. My name is Edward Bevilacqua, and here we are. Here we is in southwestern Nevada, east of Death Valley, west of Sin City, south of Area 51. Right, hard scrabble territory. Yes, here we are. A lot of sharp-elbowed, rootin', pistol-packing people. Pistol-packing people. Right. Now, also, this is week one, day one. Day one of week one of our neuroscience-oriented to success. I think what I'll do is I'll put this over here when we're done. Day one, week one of our 4-week program. Maybe I'll do it that way. Yeah. Okay, that works out a little bit better. A little bit more room. I've got my homework books. Yeah. So I've got my school books. Okay, the prop is set. The prop is there for day one, week one of our 4-week, 7-day per week program. I don't know why this keeps doing that. To do that, we'll take that out in editing. So we're starting over again, another week. It's something we have been doing for the past, I'm going to say 12 years. Maybe it's 13 years. Maybe it's 14 years. I have to go back to the archives. I think it was 2012. At this time in 2012, we were in the Learning Village, downtown Las Vegas. Tony Hsieh, alive and well, things happening, popping down there. There was a real sense of, man, this is where you want to be. All kinds of young people wearing flip-flops, sandals, shorts, backpacks, scooters, people who were like, yeah, I've got it made. I work for Tony Hsieh. We've got this downtown project. We're going to change the world. And then, boom, the world turned on them. And so 1 year later, it was very vicious. Persecution of the innocent. Roll back the thing. Tony Hsieh resigns as president or whatever, the downtown project. All of the air gets let out of the proverbial balloon. But we were there in the midst of it, having a classroom. Very cool. Great. Loved it. Very good for the students, people in prison coming to school. A lot of enthusiasm. We're going to change the world. And even though we didn't, When I say we, I mean really the people in the downtown project. Even though they did not, they still did incredible things. They had a dream. Okay, so what's our dream? Let's look at the theme of today, feminization and algae blooms. The proper answer is what? What does feminization and algae blooms have to do with anything? Well, we'll find out about that. But spoiler alert, feminization is not feminism. Feminization is not feminism. The only thing they have in common is the letters FEMIN. It is not equal rights. It's not that. So we're going to learn more about that. Advice from an 80-year-old. Advice from an 80-year-old. Be a good winner. Okay, let's bracket on that for a second. Because yesterday, the garbage truck is here. Yesterday it was be a good loser. Today it's be a good winner. What does that mean, be a good winner? Well, before we get to that, let's answer the question, why should you be a good winner? So people play with you more. So people are going to want to play with you. If you are a good winner, people will want to play with you again. If you're a bad winner, they're not going to want to play with you because it's not a good learning experience. It wasn't uplifting. So that's what's a bad winner. A bad winner is someone that says, in your face, you suck. Next time I'm really going to wipe your butt. Well, maybe not that. Maybe kick your butt. Who's going to want to play with that person again? No one. So be a good winner. Hey, that was great. That was a near run thing. You almost had me. There was that one point there where if it had gone this way, you would have you may have won. Maybe you didn't have a chance of winning, but it really showed some insight there. Be a good winner. Be a good winner. Okay, Seth Godin. Sarcasm self-defeats. Sarcasm is an easy way to amplify feedback. It has two hidden costs. It reveals low status. People with power don't need to use sarcasm to make a point. If you want to lead with status, using sarcasm undermines the goal. Okay? People with power don't need to use sarcasm. It adds emotions where it's not always needed. The emotion is an amplifier, but it often causes division and defensiveness. If you have confidence in your standing and your idea, then sarcasm is simply getting in the way because it undermines both. Okay? If you have confidence in your standing and your idea, then sarcasm is simply getting away because it undermines your standing and the idea. Right. Okay, good. Thank you, Seth Godin. Now, let's talk a little bit about what are we doing here, and then today's TED Talk. Today's TED Talk is Dr. Daniel Amen talking about brain scans. Brain scans, people. So, Daniel Amen is a pretty famous guy because he is like the Johnny Appleseed guy going out there proselytizing, spreading the word of the importance of brain scans. And he's started a very good business, so he has money so he can be successful because he's got money, time, meaning, and purpose. meaning and purpose. Everything he does matters. So the brain scans matter, and they are service to other people. So yes, Dr. Amen, good for you. His business probably will weather the AI. If he uses AI as a tool and adopts the AI model, probably do well for quite a while because he has places that people can go get brain scans. And the equipment is very expensive. So yeah, you could have, if you had a machine and you knew people who knew how to operate the machines, you could open storefronts and use AI to replace the high-powered therapists who work there. But you still need a place to go for people to do it and humans to walk them through it today. Maybe 10 years from now, 5 years, whatever it's going to be, when robots are everywhere, you can walk into a clinic and they're not actually people, they're robots. And they're taking you through the whole process. Perhaps just thinking about what those days will be like when you have a robot who's sitting at the front desk, right? Able to be an interface instead of a keyboard. It's something that looks like a person, but they're updating your records and files and answering questions and doing all of that stuff while they're having a conversation with you. So you go in an office, no file cabinets. Where'd the file cabinets go? There's no file cabinets. There's a printer, maybe. Might not even need a printer. Let's say there's a printer. No pens, no pencils. Don't need to write anything down. Notes to you will be put on your phone or whatever. And however you're going to access them will be on your email, your account. And very pleasant experience. You won't have people getting you frustrated. And then it will become a boutique. People, oh, this is a doctor's office. We have real people who care. But then you got to find people who actually do care. And they probably will care because they'll be grateful that they have a job working with people. Yeah, imagine that. Grocery stores where you have no people, there's just a million robots. Everywhere, every few aisles, there's a robot and they can answer any question you have. Hey, I do my thing. Personal shopper robots going with you that look like shopping carts. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. All right. Well, that's what's coming. Let's talk about where we at. Okay, we are here, Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students navigate through this world. And I can tell you with what's happening with AI and robots, the next 10 years is going to make the last 10 years look like nothing. And the last 10 years, from 2015 or 2016, let's say 2015 to 2025, huge changes in how people navigated through the world. Because in, 2011, 2007, iPhones came out, 2007, 20 years, almost 20 years now. And everything started changing very, very fast. By 2015, there were a lot of apps, but a fraction of the number of apps that there are today. And people still did most of the stuff in 2015 the way they did in 2007. now we do most things we do are not like 2007. So anyway, 10 years from now, big change. So we help our students navigate, and you need this more now than ever. We need the skills now more than ever. The physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual skills to navigate through this world more than ever. And we start with a very simple belief, which is if I know who I am on a physical neuroscience level, not on a spiritual level, not on a psychological level, not on an astrological level, but on a nuts and bolts, what am I made of level. If I understand that, if I know who I am and why I behave I do, if I understand those, then I can affect how I behave right now. So if I know who I am physically down to a cellular or subcellular level, if I know what I am and I know why I act the way I do, stimulus response type things, or why I think this, or why I react this way when that happens. If I understand those things, then I can become an active agent in how I behave. Which means if I have a goal to get over there and I know who I am, then I am better able to get to where I want to get. Also, because I know who I am, I'm better at determining what are my capabilities. I'm better at determining what do I need to do to augment, supplement, refine my capabilities and point them in a direction that's actually a good direction. It's not, I think it's a good direction. I feel it's a good direction. No, I have a very good sense of probability that this is a good direction. And what I need to do is head down that and look for this and do this. And here's all the things I need to do to get from where I am to where I want to be in a realistic sense. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We break that down over 4 weeks. So first of all, the first week is overview and orientation. Where am I going? Why am I going there? What's happening? What are my capabilities? The next week is, okay, now we focus on the neuroscience thing. What is going on in my brain? How does my brain work? So how can I use my brain? How can I develop my brain, use my brain to get the most out of it? Third week, well, I can't do it alone. I got to get other people to help me. How do I get other people to help me? What are their motivations? Since I know how my brain works, I know how their brain works. So we want to bond. I want to find people I can bond with. And it's just like a string versus a rope, right? A string is not going to be able to take a heavy burden. You put a whole bunch of strings together, you weave them together, you bond them together in a certain way, and they become really strong. So that's what we learn in week 3. In week 4, now the thing is, okay, I've got my plans, I understand what I'm doing, I know how my brain works, I know how to use my brain to help me manifest, to accomplish the things I want to do. I have people with me, and now it's full steam ahead, or it's charged. The game is afoot. And what I have to do is be prepared to stay the course, to not give up, not change, not turn, okay, I'm done, you do it, to just keep going on this adventure that we call life. And to see it that way and to put it in perspective of everything else around us. So that is our simple and modest goal. We're here at 6 o'clock Pacific time every day, helping people move forward with this. But you don't need this because every day we have our worksheet. The worksheet is posted. It's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So you can get a copy of the worksheet, and it would take you about 4 hours a day because this is the state Penn workbook. So people who are in the state Penn, not Penn State, they're in state Penn, this is the tool they use. And I have to say cut because we're out of time.